Does it bother you? Asked Tor. He was walking next to Sagi down a long dirt path. Every few minutes he would need to duck from a tree branch. Sagi had her ears and face wrapped in cloths, similar to the way Kore saw Mavis for the first time. Our people's entire existence has depended on hiding in plain sight, or just hiding in general from the rest of the world's population, said Sagi. Hiding so we can find places to sleep on our way here wasn't an issue. Hiding from the world must be pretty hard, too. You're cut off from almost everything. Tor raised his hand to make sure he wouldn't collide with another tree branch as he walked. Is the magic of your people enough? The Ankari rely on a different type of magic, one that doesn't stem from the planet itself, but rather from the people. Sagi knelt down and picked up some dirt in her hand. Come on, we're close. Sagi led the way as they walked in silence for a few more minutes. When she took them for a turn through some trees, it felt as if Tor entered into another world. Suddenly the forest around them had a purple glow, and Tor could see yellow lanterns in the distance, lighting the way for them. When they got close, Tor observed the houses of the Ankari, most of which were made of wood. Some of them were off the ground with a ladder or stairs leading up to their doors, as they were built into the trees. This is amazing, Tor said in a whisper, as if speaking louder would break this vision before him. Come, there are people here that can help decipher why your body houses so much magical energy. Sagi led the way to a large building in the back of the forest. A large staircase led up to the entrance to this building, and two large wooden doors were at the top. Before Sagi could take Tor up, a young Ankari female with long brown hair exited from the two doors and began making her way down the stairs. Her hair was styled similar to Sagi, but the shave of the hair was on this brown-haired woman's left side instead of the right side. Sagi, the woman exclaimed, and began rushing down the stairs to embrace Sagi at a hug. We were getting worried that you were still stuck in Seva. Yulusa, Sagi smiled. This was the first time Tor saw Sagi show real emotion. The return home took longer than expected. My friend here was too big to fit in the portal back. Yulusa brought her hand up to her mouth in embarrassment. Despite the blue skin, Tor could tell she was blushing. He is a rather large human, is he not? Yulusa said while trying to stifle her giggles. Sagi turned to Tor and presented Yulusa to him with her hand. Tor, this is my childhood friend Yulusa. She's blessed by the goddess Zaya. To the Ankari, Zaya is the goddess of the hunt, the highest honor bestowed upon those here in our forest. She is over-exaggerating. I'm not that special, Yulusa said, still blushing, though, for different reasons now. The legend says that every 100 years the goddess Zaya blesses one Ankari hunter with left eye, left hand dominance. That's why her hair is shaved on the opposite side. She's a rarity. Sagi wrapped her arm around Yulusa's shoulders. She's humble, but she deserves to be treated like a queen. Stop, Yulusa shyly shrugged Sagi's arm off of her. Are you two on your way to visit the elders? Tor has a large amount of magical energy inside of him, not common for humans on Novessa, trying to find answers. Sagi adjusted her bow on her back that got displaced when she put her arm around Yulusa. We were close to Mavis and Seva too. Any luck finding his hideout? I was just in there because we have a lead, Yulusa said. Come see me on the outskirts of the forest after. I could use another expert hunter for the trip. We'll be there. Sagi and Yulusa exchanged a goodbye that involved them gripping each other's forearms instead of their hands. Yulusa went deeper into the forest to prepare for the trip, and Tor followed Sagi up to the two wooden doors. Tor was surprised to see a lack of guards protecting the doors, especially when Griswold had guards stationed in front and behind all of the metal doors in Seva. Inside was brighter than Tor expected, so bright that the room had a yellow tint to it. There were numerous Ankari sitting around talking, while others were serving drinks and food to the others present. Tor's large frame drew the attention of some of the Ankari, but for the most part everyone carried on like he wasn't even there. A male and a female Ankari that looked older than the rest sat on two throne-like chairs in the back of the room. Sagi walked Tor over to them as she waved to the occasional passerby. King Rin and Queen Maeve. Sagi saluted them with an Ankari salute, but Tor couldn't see what she did, so he just bowed. Sagi looked at him funny afterward, but no one acknowledged it. Sagi, Queen Maeve, smiled as she said her name. You've returned. I have. Sagi stepped aside to show Tor to them. This is Tor, a human who has lost his memories. People of Seva were trying to extract magical power from within him. He has magic inside of him like us? King Rin stood up and began to look Tor over. He started to circle around Tor. Come look, Maeve. Queen Maeve walked over and grabbed Tor's hand. She flipped his hand over so that his palm was facing her and began to run her fingers along the lines of his palm. Both of her hands looked tiny in the large hand of Tor. She continued to feel her way up to the veins on his wrist. There is no mistaking it, Maeve said. There is magic present here, but I'm not sure it's inside. Where else could it be? Asked Rin. It is bizarre, said Maeve. She looked at Sagi as she explained. There's definitely magic surrounding your friend, but I don't think it's coming from within. It is as if there is a magic residue coating the inside of his body. That's possible? Asked Sagi. We've never recorded anything like this, said Rin. However, I wouldn't... Did I say outside or inside? Magic residue coating the outside of his body. I think I said inside by accident. That's possible, asked Sagi. We've never recorded anything like this, said Rin. However, I wouldn't rule it out as a possibility. There are still many things that even the Ankari don't know. Maeve nodded as she continued to press Taur's veins on his forearm. Constant or many years of exposure to magic could technically leave an imprint on the outside of a person's skin. Though I would have never guessed this type of lingering magical energy could be present on a human. Should he be concerned? Sagi got closer to Maeve to look at Taur's veins. They didn't look any different than a normal human's veins, but Sagi hadn't seen many humans up close like this. So far, it doesn't seem like it would do any harm to him. Maeve finally let go of Taur's arm and shrugged. There's really no way for me to tell if there will be any long-term side effects. We'll just need to monitor him and maybe run some tests. Is that something we can do? Asked Sagi. That's up to him, asked Rin. If Taur is willing to let us help him and run some tests, then we will do so. For you, Sagi, it's the least we can do. I'm not planning on leaving anytime soon, said Taur. I want to go with you to find where Mavis is hiding. You saw Yalusa on the way in, I suppose. Maeve returned to her chair. If you're going with her, I feel a bit more at ease of the situation. Other than learning more about Taur, Mavis is the reason we're here. Yalusa and I hunt together all the time, and our goals are currently aligned. No reason not to help her. King Rin also returned to his chair. Mavis has put all of the Ankari in danger with his actions and continues to disgrace our race with every act of violence he commits. Ensure Yalusa has finished making the proper preparations, then find Mavis with great haste. The quicker this blemish on our history is eradicated, the sooner we can reveal ourselves and make true peace with the humans. Yes, my king. Sagi saluted the king and queen once more, then walked out. Taur followed her. After they made their way down the long stairs, Sagi led Taur to the outskirts of the forest. Yalusa was waiting for them with 2 bags of supplies. Alongside of Yalusa was 2 Ankari men. One had short blonde hair and a long robe covering his body. The other was a larger Ankari with long black hair and a braid sticking out of the top of his head and going all the way down his back. The gang's all here, Sagi said with another smile. Yes, Yalusa pointed to the man with the robe. This is Gildan, one of the most proficient magic users among the Ankari, the best mage if you ask me. I think you're a bit biased, love. The pupils of Gildan's eyes were black, but when he shook Taur's hand, a red glare appeared inside them, then faded. And this is Endon. He's more of an idiot, Yalusa laughed. Come on now. Endon shook Taur's hand, but was looking at Yalusa as he did. I may be the muscle, but I'm still an Ankari. This is Taur. He's Saji's friend who lost his memories and is trying to find out the truth about his past. Yalusa turned back to Taur after introducing him. Are you two ready to go? Are these supplies for us? Asked Sagi. She grabbed one of the bags and put it over her shoulder. Yeah, while you were talking to the king and queen, we prepped some bags for you both. My sources are correct. It isn't a long journey, but better to be prepared. Yalusa picked up the other bag and handed it to Taur. Taur placed it over his shoulder in a similar fashion to Sagi. Let's get moving. Sagi and Yalusa led the way for the group. They stopped occasionally to use some of the supplies or kneel down to check tracks and scents, but for the most part they led the group in silence. Taur walked in the back with Endon, just a few steps behind Gildan. Don't let the looks deceive you, said Endon. Gildan and I are brothers, hence the similar names. You two have been hunters for the Ankari for a long time? Asked Taur. No, not really. Endon pointed at Yalusa off in the distance. It wasn't until we met Yalusa that we became hunters. I was a builder and Gildan was an alchemist. That's quite a career move, said Taur. How did she convince you? Didn't take much convincing. Endon adjusted the bag on his shoulder. Yalusa was hunting mostly with Sagi at the time. I had a thing for Sagi. Yalusa convinced me it was the easiest way to get close to her. Taur looked at Sagi off in the distance. She knelt down to check some tracks, then looked back in Taur's direction with a smile. Did anything ever happen between you two? Oh, fate is weird, yeah? A week after I started hunting with them, I met my future wife in a bar after a successful hunt. Endon laughed. I see the way you're looking at her, though. Be careful with that one. Saji's all about the hunt and all business. She won't stop until she catches Mavis. I won't get in her way, said Taur. Good. Endon was tall, but not nearly the size of Taur. Endon reached up and patted Taur's shoulder. Yalusa, my bro, and I won't always be there for her. She'll need someone strong to have her back.